Hello there, I'm back. And today we are gonna defeat the first few bosses. On today's hit list we have 2 forest protectors and 2 desert bosses. Originally today's video was gonna go up until the Eye of Cthulhu, but unfortunately I ran out of storage space, so I kind of had to improvise. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'm not lying when I say this, I am not excited for this. Okay. I may also need to get some more life crystals. Then I remembered an accessory from the thorium mod. The accessory provides me with higher floor velocity, which really helps with hitting enemies that are moving quickly. And the best part, I only needed to do a little bit of deforestation to get it. I did also consider making a Raider's Talisman or Coin of Deceit, however those only work with stealth strikes, which don't seem to work with my current weapon. Now it was time for my second attempt, which already went a lot better than the first one. In his first phase he only had 2 attack patterns. His first attack was just spamming the green projectile. This was also the attack where I could do the most consistent damage. In his second attack he teleports and shoots 3 projectiles at the same time, which makes it hard to catch up with him and hit him consistently. Even though I forgot my life crystals again on the third attempt, I got a lot better at dodging his attacks and getting consistent damage. I even managed to get adrenaline off once. Now, having perfected almost all attacks from phase 1 and getting hit a lot less, my damage increased a lot from both the adrenaline and the consistent hits. Now in his second phase he had a new attack which made it very easy for me to hit him. This attack consists of him standing still and shooting 3 projectiles from random directions at your character. Unfortunately I got a little bit too impatient and ran into one of his projectiles. The floor velocity is helping a lot in this case, but I still need I need to take health potions with me actually this time, because I forgot those the last time. And secondly, I need to get the rest of my life crystal. After getting both full life and some stamina stations from the Fargos Mutant mod, I was pretty sure I could defeat him this time. At this point in progression I had worked out 2 different strategies for getting my damage in. The first I call the snake, where I throw up the balls during running and hit them while running back. The second consists of me throwing a lot of balls in the air and then jumping after them with my sandstorm in a bottle. This makes it possible to shoot a lot of balls in one direction, and very easy to start combos. Now at 50% he learns a new attack. This one is actually not as easy to dodge as it looks, and additionally I can't do any damage because I have to focus on dodging. Here you can see how slowly I chip away his HP when he doesn't do that one attack where he stands still. Bro. Stop being annoying and just die already, bruh. At the last 10% of his HP, he also learns a new attack where he just shoots a beam at you. After placing my well-earned trophy, it was time for some regearing. I started with some new housings for my NPCs and a pylon to easily get over to the desert. During polishing up the Insta houses, I was harassed by a black hole spawning inside of the house. Next up, it was time for a desert arena. Now it was time to get the remaining materials I still needed for the boss summon. And I was even lucky enough to get a magic conch in one of my first chests. Now it's time to defeat 3 bosses directly after each other because none of them provide upgrades. First up is the Trojan Squirrel. I have a confession to make. I actually didn't beat the Trojan Squirrel in the intended difficulty. As a Fargos boss, you usually beat him in either Eternity or Masochist. I, however, forgot to change the difficulty from Infernum. Additionally, I decided I would only change the difficulty to Masochist whenever I fought one of the mutant siblings. Overall, I can only say that the Trojan Squirrel was pretty much a pushover in this difficulty because he couldn't jump, so I could just defeat him by standing above him and shooting down. The Grand Thunderbird is a very special case. He is the first boss actually impacted by the Fargos Seed. In general, most of Calamity's bosses are not impacted by the Fargos Seed due to the Infernum boss AI override. And for the first boss with an Fargos AI, this was actually a pretty difficult one. What you just saw there is what I assumed to be the Fargos AI. And it seems to have some issues with the thunder attack. You see, usually he uses this attack right above you in order to strike you with lightning, but in this special case in Fargos, he seems to have a rubber banding feature of sorts, meaning after every attack he stops shortly before quickly dashing at you, which is especially deadly because most of his dashes one-shot you. The main reason why I don't add an attempt counter to this one is because I took about 70 attempts to kill him eventually. The footage you see right now is about 20 attempts in, which is why I'm starting to reconsider crafting new accessories. And as you can see, I was even thinking about upgrading my gear via the Tinkerer's Workshop, which I was hesitant to do at first, because Infernal Eclipse of Ragnarok locks the Tinkerer's Workshop after the first vanilla boss. This is also where that one item comes in from the Goblin invasion. It is in fact so good that I said that I wouldn't use it against any bosses originally, but let's just say it became a trump card for later. After some short farming, I actually got my next accessory, Alpha, from the Homewards Journey mod. It adds a ring that circles me and increases the damage of all thrower projectiles that go through it. About 30 attempts later, I have decided to also use Tarnish during the boss fight. And just so you get a feeling for how these fights went, it was mostly just me slowly chipping away its HP. So I continuously died during the day and went fishing at night. Almost all my attempts ended up with me getting rubber banded to death. But then one night I fished up a balloon pufferfish. Now at around attempt 60 I decided to finally give in and craft my accessories. And this was the very next attempt. With me now understanding the rubber banding and just knowing that I have to get as close as possible during the attacks where he can rubber band, I was able to dodge most of his attacks pretty flawlessly. Additionally, I killed his minions as fast as possible in order to force him to use this attack again, because he stands very still during it. Unfortunately, at many points I had to spam tarnish because my regular baseballs simply couldn't hit him. The main problem with the baseball bat was that I had to throw the balls into the air first in order to hit them, which meant that by the time that I was ready to hit him, he most of the time already got away. Or even worse, like in this case, he hit me away from the baseballs and I couldn't do any damage with my adrenaline except for with the shadow flames. This clip was also the first time that I noticed that I seemed to do some kind of contact damage. I don't know if I had a thorns potion in or if it was something about my accessories, but it was very useful for this fight. Now very slowly but consistently chipping his HP down, he was finally down at 25%. And one thing many of you probably don't know is that at 25% the Grand Thunderbird doesn't spawn any minions anymore. This meant that I now could attack him very consistently with my shadow flames and the baseball bats without getting distracted. Him being below 25% also meant that he now spawned feathers whenever he dashed. This also seemed to apply to rubber banding, so I'm guessing that it's linked to its maximum speed. And this is why I was so thankful for the contact damage that I seemed to deal. Now after 67, I'm not kidding, 67 attempts I finally defeated him. Unfortunately, the only reason to defeat him was to get the summon for the Desert Scourge, because he doesn't drop any boomerangs. But thankfully this one didn't take even half as long. Even though not an optimal weapon, the baseball bat kinda shredded the Desert Scourge. You see, unlike you would expect, the baseballs seem to pierce infinitely once they bounced off a target once. Before long I hit the Desert Scourge into its second phase. And not even a Blood Moon could save its life, even though that did kind of devour my frames. Having finally defeated the Desert Scourge, it was time to craft our weapon. Additionally, I crafted a set of Victite armor. Testing out our new weapon and accessory that I obtained from the Desert Scourge, I was already excited for the next episode. And I hope you are too. Other than that, I wish you an amazing day and goodbye!